Hey, this is Cherith from What Cherith Thinks. Thank you so much for joining my channel today. I appreciate you pressing play on this video. I know that there are so many people, I say this all the time, out here in these YouTube streets. So the fact that you decided to press play on this one really makes me happy. If you are here, I'm going to assume that you are someone who wants to know more about self-care because that's what my channel is all about, self-care. Today, I want to talk about self-care strategies for challenging times. We cannot deny that we have been living in some very challenging times for the past year or so. So if you are someone who is looking for some self-care strategies to try to bounce back and get back into real life, then you'll definitely want to tune in to this video. Okay, so before we jump into the self-care strategies that I want to share with you, I think that it's important that we first talk about resilience. The reason that I want to talk about resilience is because if we're going to move forward after the year that we've had, it is very important for us to know that we are resilient. I know that last year put a lot of us in a place that we have never been before. A lot of us are very social beings, and we had that kind of yanked from under our feet. I can't tell you the last time that I have hugged anyone outside of my immediate family in over a year, and I am such a hugger. So it's been very difficult for me to, see people and just kind of do the fist bump or the elbow bump or anything, just trying to stay healthy. So we've all had to kind of change who we are in a sense. Even those people who have still been out and about, it's still really different. The masks, the social distancing, it's just all very different. So it is important for us to note that as we move forward, that we're going to have to practice some resiliency. In order for us to be resilient, we need to talk about self-care and how self-care can help us to be resilient. So it is important to note that moving forward, that you will have to dig into your inner self, pull out that resiliency that you probably have because you have overcome challenges before. We've all had life challenges, even though this one was a little bit different from anything I've ever gone through before, totally. So we just need to make sure that we are ready and that we have an open mind and that we're ready to be resilient. The first strategy that I want to share with you is journaling. Before you run, I know that everybody is not a writer. Journaling is very different. It is you dumping the things that are in your head onto some paper to just get it out. Get yourself an inexpensive journal and just write. Write what you're feeling. If you're mad, if you're sad, if you're excited, however you're feeling, just write it down. You don't need to think about grammar, punctuation, spelling. No one's going to read it other than you. It's kind of like having one of those teenage diaries or something like that, but you're just going to write your feelings each day or just whenever you're feeling overwhelmed and just want to get those ideas from your head. I like looking back at my journals because I don't just write when I'm upset. I also write when I'm happy, and I love seeing those things and just kind of talking about how my day was, what difficulties I've had, who made me mad, who made me happy, all of those things. It just kind of helps you to see that you have gone through things before and you've been victorious before. So it's just important to kind of do that. So that is a great technique. It's a great way to deal with your feelings. It is just an awesome, easy technique that you can use that has so much impact. So journaling is an excellent self-care strategy for you to use, especially during challenging times. The next strategy that I want to share with you is practicing mindfulness techniques. It is really important for us to learn to be in the moment. Our mind races so often, and we're always thinking about the what ifs, or we're anxious about certain situations, and we overthink things all the time. And then we kind of miss the moment because our minds are somewhere else. So it's really important for us to be able to learn to be in the moment and to just focus our mind and to clear our minds when we are in real-time situations that should be good situations, and we don't want to get in the habit of our mind racing. So just draw your attention to your thoughts and just try to really channel those thoughts into things that are positive and situations that are positive. And if you're, like I said, if you're in a moment, you really want to savor that moment and really think about what you're doing, where you are, who you're with, and how you're feeling. Another great self-care strategy is a movie spree. I love watching movies. I love watching movies that are feel-good movies, especially when I'm doing it for self-care. So what I would advise you to do is to find a list of movies that really make you feel good and have yourself a good Netflix and chill day where you're just watching those movies that are going to make you smile, snuggle up on the couch by yourself or with some loved ones and just really just forget about everything that's going on and just focus in on that feel-good movie that you have selected. So that is a great self-care strategy, something you can do at home, something that's really easy. And I really think that it has a high level of return, because I usually feel good and empowered if I watch something where someone overcomes something. So that is an excellent strategy for you to try out if you are in challenging times. The last self-care strategy for challenging times is to limit your social media interaction. I love social media. I love being able to connect with my friends and families, especially now that we aren't able to see those people as often. But I will admit that sometimes social media stresses me out. Looking at people have these debates and just, express their opinions on things, it can be really frustrating, and it can really put you in a bad place, get you just, in a bad mood. So one thing that I do if I'm not going to limit my social media, because let's be honest, it's hard to do that sometimes, then what I will go ahead and do is hide those people, or unfriend those people who really stress me out on social media. So, I mean, it's yours, it's your social media. You should be able to scroll it without, being interrupted by people and their arguments and their negativity. So that's just one thing that I, if you're not able to limit it, because I do have times where I try to limit it and I do feel really good, but I'll just be honest, I do love being able to connect with my friends. So that's why I won't just, take extended breaks, because that's the only way that I am able to keep up with some of my friends, some of my college friends. I'm able to see what's going on with their kids and their families, and it's really fun. So I just want to give you a little bit of, tips. If you are someone who is not going to limit your social media, then just make sure you clean your social media page up and just only follow those people who put you in a good place. These are just a few self-care strategies that will help you during challenging times. Like I said earlier, this has been a very difficult year, and we have had to make a lot of adjustments to our lives in a relatively short amount of time. It is very important that we are making a conscious effort to take care of ourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally, so that we can get back to where we were before all of this even started. So please make sure that you are taking some time to be very intentional about your self-care, so that you are able to take care of the things and the people around you. I always say it is so important to remember what they tell you on an airplane. Put your oxygen mask on first. You can't save anyone else if you're not well. Take care.